Hi there, Rob Crawls, your monthly full Canada member service dude. Back at you again. We're going to click on our Stock Advisor Canada shortcut here on our desktop, and we're going to go right into our page here. We're going to log in to our premium site. And today, so far we've covered the home page, the recommendations, and the updates tab, and how it all works. Today we're going to get into the scorecard, and this is frankly one of the most useful tools that you'll have access to at your service. This will help you keep organized and keep focused on the specific companies you're most interested in. So you're going to be given those two recommendations each month. You also, of course, have access to all the recommendations that you saw when you went behind the recommendations button here, and all the recommendations. You have access to all of that automatically. There's no pressure to immediately jump in and start buying right away. You, of course, as I had indicated initially, are best served starting off at the Welcome Center video, reading over the content and the frequently asked questions, and getting comfortable with the idea of investing. But once you've done all that, the scorecard is a great place to focus your attention. Now, I'm going to quickly show you the watch list first because most of the focus is going to be on the scorecard. The watch list, I'm going to right click, move my mouse over here, and then left click on open link in new tab. And I'm going to open that new tab up. So these are the stocks on our radar. We noticed there were write-ups on them here behind the updates tab. That's where the full write-ups were. In the meantime, this page here is just a quick, simple formatted table, a list of stocks that are on the radar, stocks that our company is focusing on, our team at Stock Advisor Canada is looking into as possible recommendations going forward. And left click on link here, and that will also bring you over to the update related to a review of that company. So it's a handy tool for sure to see what our company's thinking about. However, as these are watch list stocks, they're not necessarily official recommendations yet. And the handy thing, when you invest with us, you will go. We're going to left click right now as I'm babbling. We're going to left click on scorecard, and we're going to open that page up. As you invest with us, you're going to select companies that we have officially recommended. These companies will be monitored in perpetuity going forward once they are recommended. Um, the way I've used the service, and I was a member for 10 years on the US side before I came here to work at Stock Advisor Canada. And for me, it was always essential to have a service that has a team monitoring that company. Once I'd picked a company and made it part of my portfolio, I liked to have a team of people essentially working for me to focus on my companies, to do the digging into those companies, and to alert me when it's time to make a change, whether it be they're not delighted any longer with how the company's performing, the direction of the business, if the thesis has possibly fallen apart. Those can be all warning bells, and our team will be notifying you of those. Or alternatively, the stock itself could be down significantly, something like computer modeling group, but your team may believe that, well, these are short-term fluctuations that aren't really based in a lot of rational thought. They're more based in emotion, and they're not really justifiable. And if the business is doing well, it may actually be an opportunity to buy. It's not always an opportunity when a stock is down, so it's definitely worth reading up, find out why that stock price might be down before you automatically assume it's a bargain at that lower price. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. Also, oftentimes companies will be up several percent, 15, 13% pretty quickly. And that doesn't mean you've necessarily missed the boat. There may be a lot of room for growth. And again, you can read up and find out more about how our team feels about those going forward. I personally, over the years, have dropped the catching the falling knife method of investing, trying to invest as something's dropping, because I've learned some hard lessons. I've seen companies get bought out, and I've never recovered back to my full price, the price I'd paid. So I wasn't necessarily buying at a bargain in that situation. And other times, companies continue to simply go down. I myself tend to buy more on the way up, especially if I buy a growth company. Growth companies can grow hundreds and even thousands of percent. If you miss the first 15, 20% of growth, that doesn't mean a lot in the grand scheme of things. Um, it's often a good idea to buy on an uptrend. But in any case, before you make those decisions, you're going to want to know more about the companies. And this scorecard It's going to be a very handy tool for that. First of all, you can see here the recommendation date. So on November 11th, we had a recommendation for Acadian timber. At that time, the then price was $17.70. Now it's $20.47. It's a 15.7% return in less than a month. It's fantastic. Get real rich real fast if that would keep happening every month, but that's not how investments normally work. It's likely going to fluctuate up and down. It's a great start. Love to see that. Feels really good when it happens, but likely going to fluctuate. In any case, let's say you had invested in Acadian timber, or let's even take an older example. Let's go to something you invested in back in August, Milestone Apartments, the REIT. Now, over here, you'll notice this is a link. Your pointer will turn into a hand, excuse me, indicating this is now a link. So you can, and we're going to right click this now so we keep our scorecard page handy right here. But when I right click this and I choose open link in new tab, I get taken to the page for Milestone Apartments. This page is specifically focused on Milestone Apartments. Sometimes you can have an active chart working here. There's no chart available at present for this one. However, you've got the open price for the day high, the basic information that you'll see on any stock charting sites. But you're also going to find on this page, everything is centered around and focusing on Milestone Apartments. This is the Milestone Apartments page at Stock Advisor Canada. You'll find the recommendation here. So if I wanted to, I could, from here, right click. And again, the reason I'm choosing right clicks is I keep my central page here, and then I can just move around between these other things without jumping back and forth, back and forth. So I could go here and I could read the official recommendation from when it first came out. Sometimes you're going to find there'll be more than one recommendation. It may be re-recommended 3-4 months down the road. Ian may look at it and feel that this is just a great buy still. Maybe there's really good reason to buy some more right now. You may have a second recommendation to read here. Also, all coverage. So updates, any follow-up on earnings, reports, conference calls, things like that. It's all going to be tracked here as well. You'll even see discussions that focus on the company here from our forums. And forums I'll discuss at another time. They're behind this button here, and they're a great resource as well. That'll be good for another discussion altogether. But this is all kept together for the one company behind that one page. I could keep this tab right here handy, and I could go back here, click on my other tab again, and I could follow up on more of my companies. So I could read about OpenText, which is down 12%, and let's say I'd invested in that, and I'm concerned. I'm wondering, okay, why is it down? It's been a few months now, and it's still down. So I'm thinking, do I want to add a little bit more? I took a small position. Perhaps I'd want to expand on that position, but maybe I'll go read and find out what the team thinks about it. Is there a reason to just hold off? Right now, the rec rating, as you look here, the rec rating for OpenText is a best buy now. So the team is telling us that this is a good time to buy right now. So it's a good time to buy. It's down 12%. It's a little cheaper than when Ian initially recommended it. So for you, it may even be a better time to grab it. Best buy now at a discount. And you can also, by the way, notice here on our scorecard, the S&P TSX Composite is tracked as well. Whenever Ian makes a recommendation, the then price is marked for when it was recommended, and at the same time, the S&P index value is marked at that moment. So from that day, from that time, from November 11th, 2015, the S&P index is up 1.1%, and Ian's recommendation is up 15.7%. Now, not to be just tooting our horn, we can look at another situation. We can look at Computer Modeling Group. S&P is only down 5.5% that time, and our recommendation is down 20.6%. Sometimes we're right, sometimes we're wrong, in the short term especially. Everything that we recommend at the Motley Fool, and this is across all services at the Motley Fool, we are a long-term investment service, and we focus on 3 to 5 years out. We make no real strong predictions about what is going to happen in the next 6 months to a year and a half to 2 years. That's simply, in our estimation, not something that can accurately be done. That's why our focus is on the business itself, how well the business is being run, and the short-term fluctuations. We just grin and bear, or we revel in the glory of getting irrational gains early on as well. But in any case, we track ourselves for every recommendation we make, and we believe that's something that distinguishes us from virtually any other service we've heard of. Um, there's always pundits out there that are crying, you know, Chicken Littles out there screaming that the sky is falling. They're doing that every month of every year, and eventually, as the saying goes, even a broken clock is right twice a day. Eventually, those fellas, somebody is right, and they can basically call for a crash every month. When the day comes that they're actually right, they get to toot their horn, and lots of other people will toot their horn as well. However, nobody takes note of the fact that they've been wrong 68 times before they got it right for all the monthly recommendations of a stock crash they're talking about. We don't play that game at all. That's not something we do. We do basically top-down business evaluation, and we believe, as Warren Buffett does, that a well-run business positioning itself well is going to perform well and be rewarded by the market over time. In any case, so let's say we wanted to go and look at OpenText and find out. Okay, it says Best Buy Now. Let's right-click it, open link in new tab. I'm going to click on that tab. You see the chart for what's gone on with OpenText, and you can see it's a fairly volatile ride over 3 years' time. So not unusual to see it up 12% or down 12%. It's fairly typical of a company like this. You can see the official recommendation here, and you've got all the coverage. Here's the most recent Best Buy Now discussion in September 30th by Ian and the team, and it remains a Best Buy Now. So you could right click here, you could go in and you could read the argument for why it's a Best Buy Now. Or you can read any number of updates and bits of coverage on this company. And as we've had it longer on our card, there are more updates to follow and read. So this is where you would spend your time if this was a company you'd invested in. The big point being, I'm going to close this tab and I'm going to close this tab as well and go back to the scorecard. Major point being is over time, our card will have over 100 companies and even more on here, and there will be no real way for one person to follow everything. And sometimes I find at member services that I get folks that find that they're overwhelmed by just too much reading, and that's why I tell them basically, number one, you can always contact me at membersupport@fool.ca. I can help streamline the amount of emails you're getting. If you have yourself back on the promotional list and you're getting confused by all the email you're getting, I can help turn that off. You can just send me an email to membersupport@fool.ca and say, Rob, I'm getting too much mail. And I'll be happy to help you with that. Make sure that you're only getting the paid content to focus on. I can explain where your special reports are. You don't need to be getting the promotional content to get those special reports. Those you get automatically, and I'll cover that in the next video, and I'll show you how to find them. But I will help you to focus your attention on what you need. So if you ever find yourself feeling a little overwhelmed, please do contact me and give me a chance to help you make some sense of everything. So that's the lesson for today, folks. And we'll be back talking about the forums and the Special Report Center with our next video. Fool on, folks.